Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Hey, General Hospital spoilers reveal what in the world happened to Drew Cain Quartermain, Cameron Matheson, and why he is so nasty now and so mean. He has gone from a really nice guy to the biggest creep in Port Charles, and fans hate it. If you're wondering why, we're going to break it down. The transformation of Drew Cain from hero to zero on General Hospital. When Billy Miller originated the role, and even after Cameron Matheson took it over, the old Drew was a drastically different person than the monster we have now. It seems like overnight, he went from being a decent, standoffish guy to a selfish, sleazy slimeball. So we're going to take a look at some of the reasons why Drew just suddenly morphed into a different character. Some of the crazy things that happened to Drew are why he is such a creep right now. He was good at putting on a brave face and focusing on the future rather than his awful past. But that was before. To be fair, Drew has a whole lot of traumas that he's never fully processed. He pushed it down, and he tried to move forward as if it never happened. So now it seems like it's just surfacing and evolving him into someone who's worse and worse by the day. Look back at Drew. Think back when he first came on General Hospital. Drew was told he was Jason Morgan, Steve Burton. If you remember, he had been brainwashed and sent to Port Charles to do bad things to people the Cassadines hated. But then, right off the bat, Ava Jerome, Maura West, hit him with her car. And that's how they explained the different face because they did plastic surgery. And why he had brain trauma and amnesia. That's why he was initially Jake Doe, who was also a very nice guy. But on top of the other trauma he had, that was like a bunch of physical trauma right off the back. It was Carly Corintha Spencer, Laura Wright, that suspected he was Jason. And she ran that test. He was a match for Jason because identical twins had that same DNA. So he went from being Jake Doe to Jason Morgan and still was a good guy for a while despite his past trauma. But then Steve Burton decided to come back to GH. And then they raised the real Jason from the dead and invented this new character, Drew Cain, and pushed Billy Miller into that role. Character rewrites and the impact on Drew's identity. Part of the problem is this whole mess where they did character rewrites to accommodate Burton's comeback. Drew's life was upended when he found out he was not Jason, but he was his twin, ex-Navy SEAL Andrew Cain. As if that wasn't enough, then he found out he had a teenage son, Oscar Nero, Gurren Stitt. And not long after he found that out, Oscar died of cancer. After Drew adjusted to all this, being Jason's twin and Jason's the guy that most people prefer over him despite him being a heroic Navy SEAL. Between that and Drew losing his son, finding out he'd been experimented on, things just got worse. Then they killed off Drew. He was presumed dead in a plane crash, but Peter August, Wes Ramsey, had snatched him up and held him for diabolical reasons. If you remembered, he was holding Drew captive on Cassadine Island for 2 years. Then the writers decided to bring the character back, recast him with Cameron Matheson, and to facilitate the comeback, Drew made a call to his ex-wife and mother of his daughter and reached out to Sam McCall, Kelly Monaco, and she realized he was alive and needed help. So Anna Devane, Finola Hughes, who was still with the WSB at the time, she and Valentin Cassadine, James Patrick Stewart, decided to go searching for him and figured out Peter August was responsible for his disappearance. It turned out Drew was still mind controlled. Peter was using him as a killer, and then he turned Drew against the crew that came to rescue him. In the rescue attempt, Jason sacrificed himself to save Drew and some others, and then because of that, Jason was presumed dead again. The descent into darkness, Jason's return and Drew's animosity. Next, we're going to talk about why and when Drew began his descent into being a dirtbag, and how Jason's return pushed him over the edge. At this point, when he's coming back and his brother's gone, Drew had put aside a lot of his animosity toward his twin brother. They were building a treehouse, all that. He did grieve Jason's death. So, when Jason returned again after that next death, it was weird. Drew had this instant hatred for Jason, and it was shocking since he died saving him among other people. But a lot of that was because of Carly and family issues. The whole SEC debacle made things worse when Nina Reeves, Cynthia Watros, outed them to the SEC, and then Drew decided to take the fall, and he did prison time so Carly wouldn't have to. That is the point when Drew really started going dark. While he was in Pentonville, Drew was beaten, and captivity wasn't good for his past PTSD, and after that, he was really never the same. When Drew got out of prison, he was angry, he was bent on revenge, and things have been going downhill since then. Carly, Nina, and revenge, the fuel for Drew's hatred. Before prison, his romance with Carly was going okay, but let's be real. It wasn't a smart thing for Drew to get involved with Carly just from the jump for several reasons. But the biggest one was that Jason meant the world to her, even though at the time they were dating, she thought he was dead. When Jason came back from the dead yet again, this like his third or fourth time back, Drew felt threatened, he felt jealous, he knew Carly would always choose Jason. So Drew dumped Carly preemptively after she hid Jason from the police. And that explains some of the increasingly bad attitude we keep seeing growing every day, every episode. Also, when Drew got out of prison, in addition to the Carly split, he wanted revenge on Nina for sending him to Pentonville. I mean, it was his choice to protect Carly, but it was Nina's petty plot that put him in that position in the first place. So he hated Nina. He resented Carly pushing back on him for chasing. She wanted Drew to just forget Nina, move on. He couldn't let it go. So between the prison stint, Nina's antics, Carly's loyalty to this twin, Drew just got increasingly hateful. If you remember when he started up with Willow Tate, Caitlin McMullen, it was hate sex. I also wouldn't be surprised if Drew initially targeted Willow as some twisted payback plan on Nina. That might be part of what's going on in his brain with the crazy eyes and the whole deal. Twisted feelings and diabolical plans. Drew's current state on GH. Drew went and caught feelings. I do think he cares about her. Drew may be enjoying being with his younger lover, but also laughing at how much pain it's causing Nina. That's kind of diabolical, but that's how he is lately. Another reason Drew is so volatile and anti-Jason comes from their childhood. He was adopted, but Jason was kept in the family, grew up as a Quartermaine, and it bothers him. He's jealous of Jason. Drew has made it clear he resents the family for loving a hitman, mob enforcer more than they do him. Drew has tried hard to fit in and be part of the family, tried to be a proper Quartermaine that they wanted to have among them, but now Drew is lashing out at the QS2. He doesn't want to be around them because they prefer Jason. Anybody would be traumatized by all the stuff that Drew has endured, issues from childhood, brainwashing, being weaponized as a secret assassin. He lost a child. He nearly died in prison. And he feels like everybody chooses Jason over him. In a recent interview, Cameron Matheson joked that Jason was the evil twin because that's definitely how Drew sees it. All these things, the totality of it all, has made this terrible version of Drew that we have right now. Unforgivable actions and the future of Drew Cain. As if stealing his nephew's wife and kids wasn't enough, he's moving them in while Michael Corinthos, Chad Duell, is enduring painful burn recovery. Now he's blackmailing Portia Robinson, Brooke Kerr, to punish Curtis Ashford, Donald Turner, who was his best friend, and Willow is pretty much the only person in his corner. Everybody else despises him. The bottom line, even knowing all the reasons that Drew is so nasty and awful, it doesn't excuse it. He's burned all his bridges, and I think he's going to go down soon. We'll see, maybe Drew can be redeemed somehow someday. But right now, by far, he is the most hated character on General Hospital among the fans. He is an unrepentant villain at this point. Tell me what you think in the comments. Does knowing why Drew is so damaged make you understand it more? Or do you not care and you just think he's terrible? Let me know what you think. Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast because you don't want to miss the next episode.